Question for you and the governor, the new governor. Astonished as we sat here to read, based on the fine reporting of the Providence Journal, that just a mere weeks after Rhode Islanders had patted themselves on the back after dodging the financial bullet of the now Worcester Stadium, which is now the most expensive stadium in minor league sports history, that we are now the proud soon-to-be investors in a soccer stadium. So let's go down the list, if you will. This is a state where small business owners are very often given $500 checks during a state-imposed purge, only because the state can't afford that. This is a state that is literally investing in a business that will act as competition to private investors and private business already existing in a state where we've just spent the last hour and a half describing how they literally can't fully operate. We're investing in a business where the Gillette Stadium facility isn't even sold out for a Major League Soccer game. By what definition of the madness that this state runs in are we capable of a $50 million, including a $36 million loan to a business that may not ever be able to operate on a normal level? Where does this come from?
Appreciate the question. I'm pleased to be able to speak to the Tidewater Landing project on this day. One of the things that Governor Raimondo and Lieutenant Governor McKee have emphasized is that this project financing must be revenue positive. It must, in fact, be a project that pays for itself and more. And excuse me, I'm going to finish my. Your question was very intelligent, but it had multiple parts, and I'm going to respond. So we're pleased that this is, in fact, a revenue-positive transaction, and we've worked very hard to ensure that it is, in partnership with the City of Pawtucket and with the private partners at Fortuitous. I want to note a few things. You mentioned the Pawsox and Worcester iteration thereof. I want to point out a few very important things about this project, and we can be very proud of this as Rhode Islanders. Number one, the investments that we are proposing are to the public infrastructure to support the project, not to the stadium itself. The stadium itself, the facility, will be privately financed, number one. Very much in contrast with many transactions across the country, many stadium projects across the country. Number two, as in contrast with the Pawsox proposal to Rhode Island, the developers of this $284 million project are bringing 5 times more private money to the project themselves, 5x what the Pawsox owners were willing to do. Also, after negotiations with the Pawsox owners, we were able to bring forward in that draft proposal from them a willingness to develop 50,000 square feet of ancillary development beyond the stadium itself, 50,000 square feet, the Pawsox. This development will leverage over 500,000 square feet of development for Pawtucket. Pawtucket is a city that is emerging economically. It's seen very tough times, including during COVID. But I want to note something about Pawtucket and why it's a worthy place to invest for soccer and for economic development. In 1913, Pawtucket held the very first U.S. Open soccer tournament. The nation's first U.S. Open for soccer was held in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and we're proud of the fact that that precedent set on Lonsdale Field in our very own Pawtucket could be followed through with a development of this magnitude that pays for itself and that will also bring economic vitality to our entire state.